Hi, this is Pam Rackley from Mulqueen Sewing in Mesa, Arizona, and this is the center block for your haunted house sampler. This is called the haunted house block. I just want you to take a look at it because as we put it together, you're not going to be able to tell what this block is until you do get it put together. There's several segments with this. So we are going to go through each segment. On the first page of your instructions, it gives you all of the pieces that you've cut out, and you have marked all of your pieces of fabric with the size. What I did is then I went back and marked B, C, C1, D, and I went through and marked each one of my little papers that had the size on it with the appropriate letter. You'll find that if you can take a look at this, that it doesn't give you dimensions. This just gives you all the letters of the pieces that need to be put together. So I found it was much easier for me to put the pieces together if I could find my C pieces or my D pieces. Some of the pieces are cut 1/8 of an inch different, and so you need to know when you're putting those together that you have the appropriate one, or you're going to find that your pieces are not going to match. This actually shows all the sections with the house in the middle, so that you can see how that is going to be put together with the different sections. None of the sections are square. Most of them are triangle or rectangle. The first thing that you're going to do is it's going to tell you to take your B's and you're going to cut those just in half. Then you're going to take your E's and it shows you that you're going to cut those both directions. You have to be very careful up here, and it is a little hard to see what colors are going with what colors, but it does give you your E's and your B's, and it tells you how many of each one of those that you're going to do. I did find on my little half triangles that I was putting together, if I opened my seams and pressed those flat, that it made it easier to piece this together. Follow the directions here, and this should make section 1. So this is my section 1 here. So I have it put together for you to show you how simple that is to put it together. And then this is the bottom of my section 1. So it's telling you that you are going to do this in 2 pieces, and then you're going to stitch the 2 pieces together. This is section 2 over here, and it's just a few pieces, but if you follow directions, everything should fit very square with that. Once you get that together, then you are going to do section 3. And you always make sure that you watch the angles that these needed to go, or once you get those put together, then you're going to have grass where dirt goes and dirt where grass goes. This is actually section 1 right here, and then this is section 2. So I said section 3, but here is section 3 on the top of this one. I did find that if I used foam board or something and I pinned my pieces or I laid those, you can use a flannel board, anything like that. And I had this close to my machine, and I would just take these down, and with my directions and next to my sewing machine, I knew which way that I needed to sew these. Some of your triangles are actually going to sew together with the long side of the triangle, where others of them are going to be on the square side. So you really need to pay attention to those things, and if you pin those together first or lay those together first, you'll see that those will fit better for you. So this is section 3. Section 4 is actually the house part of this. So it actually went together very, very easy. On this one, I took my 4 little pieces, did my 4 patch here. You have to watch to make sure which way your triangles need to go on here. And then you had 2 of the half square triangles that you stitch together on the short side. Normally with half square triangles, you're stitching the long sides together. But on these 2 pieces, watch, because you need to stitch these on the short side. So you put these together, you assemble these, and you assemble the bottom, and it will actually show you with your directions which way you need to put those together. Once you get that together, you do have this piece that actually fits above the windows, and you will attach this piece with those. I just didn't have enough room on my board to do that. On my windows, I actually put this piece and this piece on, press them open, and then put these 2 pieces on when I did the windows. So I didn't go 1, 1, and 1. I did 2 and then 2. And then I went ahead and put my sides of my top on section 4. And that should complete the house. Once you get your house assembled, follow the directions by sewing on your side piece and then your bottom piece. And the bottom of your house should look like this. Then you're going to be doing the sections, and these will be the sky sections, and they're fairly easy to put together. This one up here that makes the top of your house was a little tricky. So when you're putting those together, you're going to kind of have to watch, because you've got your square here, but your 2 triangles your half square triangles need to touch. So they're not on opposite sides of the square. They actually are going to touch. The other thing is that they're opposites. So you need to make sure when you're laying those down and putting together that you can see that those are opposites. Pretty much directions are very, very easy to follow on this. I have stitched a few of the pieces together with this, following directions. But once you get that all together, they should look similar to this. Once you get the gray put together, you're going to attach it to the roof. So then you will have the top of the house. I have all the segments put together here, ready to sew on step by step. And as I told you, you need to look at your directions and when you're sewing things together. My windows should be here, and I actually have put them here. So that's one of those things that you don't notice till you have it all together. So make sure that you are following directions. This is the piece that goes on this side of the house. This piece goes on, you're putting this on. And then you're going to sew these 2 pieces together. These 3 go together. And then you will sew those on the top of your house. This looks a little larger than the rest of the pieces, but you have to allow for all of your 1/4 inch seams. So sometimes when you're laying these out, they may look like they're not going to fit. Once you get your 1/4 seams in there and get them pressed, then you will find that if you've stitched this correctly, that it should be very square on your block. So our next segment will be putting our quilt together. You should have all of your squares done by now. So once this is done, it will tell you you have measurements here and how to cut the borders that go around it. Thank you.